divine selves. In Vedic culture and Vedanta philosophy, there are four main objectives of a human being. These are known as purusharthas: arth, dharma, kama, moksha. Wealth, righteous act, sensual enjoyment, and moksha, absolute freedom, liberation. The same is known as self-realization, Brahman realization, or God realization, or enlightenment. Knowing the supreme reality, knowing the ultimate truth, is the ultimate objective of every human being, because unless and until we know our true nature, we are not going to be free from fear of suffering, disease, death, and the birth of cycle of birth and death will continue. Only and only when we know our true self, the true self within, ever present as the one non-dual, indivisible, knower of all, seer of all, and by knowing that self and by identifying ourselves that at the core of our existence, every human being is, and for that matter, everything and every living being is nothing but Brahman. You are never ever anything other than Brahman. But due to ignorance of your true self, you have identified yourself with this ephemeral, mortal body, mind, senses, and this is the root cause of all sorrow, suffering, and fear. Therefore, to know your true self, to know not through just reading the books, to know for yourself through your own personal, immediate, intimate, direct, intuitive experience of your true reality, the core of your existence. And once you know, you manage to discover by self-investigation, self-inquiry, as guided by Sadguru, the enlightened master, in the light of the Vedanta, you come to know that I am not an atomized, alienated, individual, finite, ephemeral identity or reality. This ephemeral, mortal identity called the body and the mind is a superimposition, or rather an appearance in, upon, and through me, the self, the Brahman. And I am always Brahman, I am always self alone, but due to my obsessive extroversion, infatuation, attachment to the illusory, apparent physical phenomenal universe, I have forgotten myself, the entire source, substance, and substratum of infinite universe, and my eternal existence is ever present right here, right now, and yet because I am always looking in the external world, the world of the five senses, the objects and objective physical phenomenal world that is amenable to, visible to, and experienced through and perceived through the five senses, has created an illusion that, oh, I am this finite, ephemeral body, the mass of flesh, blood, and bones I have identified due to my ignorance. So let's explore, let's see as to what is the direct path. Vedanta, Advaita Vedanta, is a direct path of self-realization, Brahman realization, and for becoming Brahman. Knowing the Brahman is verily becoming Brahman, because Vedas say, Brahmavid Brahmai Bhavati. The knower of Brahman verily becomes Brahman, because the Brahmanhood is not to be acquired, attained, manufactured, or borrowed from somewhere else. You are always Brahman, eternal Sacchidananda, but due to ignorance alone, due to lack of knowledge of your true self alone, you have assumed that you are a finite mortal body. Therefore, removal of that ignorance is what is required. There is nothing else. Once the removal of ignorance about your true self happens, you realize that you were always nothing but Brahman. You were always nothing but Paramatman, the Supreme Self. You were, you are, and you would, in your essence, ever be nothing but the God. The omnipotent, omniscient, and omnipresent truth you are. Never ever you are anything but, as in the case of a dream, you have created an illusion about your true self, and that is root of all your sorrows and sufferings. So now let's see today how in Ribhu Gita is the pinnacle of Advaitic sadhana, that is direct path, Jnana Marg, the path of knowledge. Advaita Vedanta is direct path because it directly takes you to your real nature. Nothing else. Just it illumines and enables you to experience your true self, real nature, that is the eternal, universal, Sacchidananda, absolute existence, pure consciousness, and bliss infinite you are. But only the thin layer of ignorance has covered your glory. So today we are going to take the help of Ribhu Gita, which is a most profound of the Advaita Vedantic texts, and it takes us straight at the core of our existence. It illumines us beyond any doubt about our Brahmanhood. So today, in the 18th chapter of Ribhu Gita, says Ribhu is going to reveal the secret of becoming Brahman. How to become Brahman? Let's see how says Ribhu is guiding us, what he is suggesting to do or know to realize our true self, the Brahman. Because knowing the Brahman alone would make you Brahman. You would attain Brahmanhood. You would verily become Brahman by knowing the Brahman. The true nature of the Brahman, the true nature of the self is key to becoming Brahman. And what is that key? Sarva Prapanch Heyatva Prakaran Varanam. Description of the topic of all pentats to be discarded. There is no ignorance, there is no veil which is covering the Brahman other than this physical phenomenal world amenable to the five senses, and therefore you have to know the art and science of discarding this phenomenal universe, prapanch, jagat. The world of duality is to be discarded, not physically, mentally. The entire universe is a mental creation. And therefore, the solution too lies in mental realization that it is a dream, it's an illusion. And therefore, the moment you know this art and science of discarding the world of names, forms, and attributes, you go to the source of your reality, at the core of your true self, that is nothing but Brahman. So, in essence, there is nothing to be done but removal of the sense of the false belief in the reality of the body and the physical universe. That removal alone is going to make you realize for yourself in your aparkshanubhuti that I am nothing but Brahman and Brahman alone. Let's see what and how Sage Ribhu is explaining this secret. Ribhu, I shall tell you the great secrets hidden in the Vedanta, by hearing which you yourself shall become Brahman indeed. The secret which Sage Ribhu is going to reveal, by hearing that secret, you would become verily Brahman indeed. What is that secret? I am existence, consciousness, bliss alone. Sacchidanandoham. And Sacchidanand alone I am. I am nothing but absolute existence, pure consciousness, infinite bliss. Know this for sure. I am existence, consciousness, bliss alone. All is pervaded by existence, consciousness. Seeing that as Brahman itself, you shall become Brahman yourself. What is saying? That entire physical phenomenal world of duality is nothing but being permeated, pervaded, and illumined by none other than the Sacchidananda, the Brahman. And knowing this, that the essence of the inner reality of every single object with name, form, and attribute is none other than the Brahman. Sarvam Khalvidam Brahma. There is Brahman and Brahman alone. Nowhere, never in anything, in any object or anyone is anything other than Brahman. All is Brahman alone. Sarvam Khalvidam Brahma. Know it for sure. There is no doubt about it. Know for sure that essence of the entire universe you are experiencing through your senses, cognitive faculties, is nothing but Brahman alone. I am existence, consciousness, bliss alone. All is pervaded by existence, consciousness. Seeing that as Brahman itself, you shall become Brahman yourself. Everything is pervaded by existence, consciousness. Because have you ever experienced anything outside your consciousness? Nothing, neither any object or experience of an object or any kind of experience in your life ever happens outside your awareness. There is no existence other than the existence of infinite eternal awareness. Vast, spacious consciousness alone is the ultimate existence, and that is of the nature of pure intelligence. Pure intelligence is the substratum of the entire infinite universe. That pure infinite intelligence alone is that known as Brahman. That infinite space of awareness alone is your reality. Know for sure that this entire world of name, forms, and attributes is nothing but an illusory appearance in your vast, spacious, infinite consciousness. And that consciousness is unborn, undying, or ever unattached, and ever present in everything. That is Vibhu, all pervading, omnipresent. That pure consciousness is the root of all experiences, all existence, all experience of love, bliss, and beauty too. That has to be through investigation, self inquiry as to what is the root of my experiences, my existence. You know for sure for yourself through intuition that this world of names, forms, and attributes is nothing but a mental creation and illusion, just like the dream world created in the night during the dream. The entire universe is nothing but a dream in, upon, and through me, pure consciousness. The pure consciousness takes the form of all the worlds with forms, names, and attributes. Know for sure that every name in the universe is nothing but a modification of pure consciousness. Know for sure that every form, every rupa in the universe is nothing but a manifestation or an illusion or an appearance in the pure consciousness. And every object with attributes, or for that matter attributes, the qualities, sato guna, rajo guna, tamo guna, these are all nothing but modifications of pure consciousness alone. Every name, every form with attributes in the realm of phenomenal universe is nothing but my own modification. Me, the pure consciousness, through mental modification, imagination, has created this entire illusory universe of names and forms. Once I dissolve it by going deep within, I know for sure that there is neither any form, nor name, nor attributes in my infinite absolute nature, which is existence and consciousness, absolute, unconditioned, unfettered, unhindered by anything else, because I alone am the supreme reality. There is no reality higher than me. There is no truth superior to me. I know for sure now, by knowing that I am existence, consciousness alone. The entire universe, physical universe, is an appearance in and upon me only, through ignorance, due to ignorance, caused by mental illusion. I am existence, consciousness, bliss alone. All is pervaded by existence, consciousness. Seeing that as Brahman itself, you shall become Brahman yourself. By asserting this true nature of yourself, that is called Nidhi on the path of direct path of self-realization, you have to assert it. You have, due to ignorance, you have got wrongly convinced that your body, ephemeral mortal body, and this universe is real. So discarding that false belief, now assert that I am nothing but Brahman alone, of the nature of existence, consciousness. There is no doubt about this. Assert your identity, assert your infinity, assert your immortality, and identify with this, the elements, the consciousness principle, which alone is eternal, which alone is real, which alone is truth. Truth in past, truth in future, and truth right now, right here. It is to be realized by assertion, by contemplation, by meditation, by profound Vedantic meditation, and by abidance in Brahman, by abidance in the self. You become firmly established in that Brahmanhood. Seeing that as Brahman itself, you shall become Brahman yourself. I am Brahman. This is Brahman. All the multiplicity is Brahman. There is no doubt of this. Existence is Brahman. Ever Brahman. I am Brahman alone. The world of multiplicity means the world of duality and diversity that we are perceiving through sensory organs are nothing but mere appearances on the plane of pure consciousness, in the Chidakas, the vast spacious awareness alone. All the objects and the entire universe is an appearance, not real. The reality is Brahman, and I am always that Brahman alone. And you too are nothing but Brahman alone in your true self. The Guru is Brahman. Guna is Brahman. Guna, the attributes, three attributes of the nature, Satoguna, Rajoguna, Tamoguna, they are all nothing but Brahman. They are modifications of pure consciousness. The Guru, the Sadguru, the teacher of my direct path, the enlightened master, too is nothing but Brahman. And I too am Brahman. And the entire universe is nothing but Brahman. Assert this, contemplate on this. The Guru is Brahman, Guna is Brahman, all is Brahman. I am the higher knowledge. Brahman is infinite. I am Brahman, all is Brahman. This Supreme Brahman is to be known through Vedanta. Brahman is to be known especially through knowledge of the true self. Knowledge of the true nature of Brahman alone reveals you the glory and reality of Brahman, who is ever present within us, yet we are unaware about that eternal reality, blissful reality that is Brahman. That's intimate reality of ours, ever present, and yet we are unaware about our true self, the Brahman. Brahman is to be known especially through knowledge. The self is Brahman. I am Brahman. The beginning and the end are Brahman. I am He. That is, I am Brahman. Aham Brahmasmi. Brahmaivahamasmi. Soham. I am that. I am He. I am Brahman. I am the Supreme Truth. Assert this, contemplate on this, and realize this, and thereafter become Brahman and Brahman alone. That is the supreme glory you are hankering after. Reality is Brahman, ever Brahman. There is nothing else. It is always the Supreme. I am Brahman, but I don't exist. There is nothing as egoism. When he is saying that I am Brahman, but I don't exist, what he means, it appears to be on the face of it a contradictory statement. We say that the Brahman is the only eternal existence, and now he is saying I don't exist. Here the I is being used as the ego-based, individuality-based, body-based identity, and that I don't exist. This apparent reality of mine, Swami Sacchidananda Saraswati, born to such and such parents at such and such place, living at such and such place. In this sense, says Ribhu is saying that I don't exist. This name, form, is just a superimposition on me. Once I remove by mental discardation, mental renunciation of this body, mind and senses, I realize that this never existed. Even at this moment, when you dream in the night, it appears huge world, in dream world you see, huge metros, mighty mountains you see, you are on the sea beaches and all that. Do they exist? They never exist. They appear through illusion, mental modification. Even so, that is what he is saying. I am Brahman and I don't exist. In the first place, he is saying I in the absolute sense, I the Brahman, eternal reality, one indivisible, non-dual reality. In the second one, he is saying the I of the smaller case, the ego-based, the ephemeral, illusory I, the jiva, individual jiva, as it is perceived of the names and forms, that I never existed. I am not in existence even at this moment, as in the case of dream. I never existed on the sea beach in Mumbai or Marina Beach in Madras, but in the dream I see that I am existing, I am enjoying. In Goa, sea beaches I am enjoying. But once you wake up, then you realize, oh, I was not there. I didn't exist there in Goa. It was illusory appearance created by mind in the dream. Even so, in this world, the so-called waking state, as it appears to be real, this is real only as long as you are not awake to, you have not awakened to your true self, Once you awake to your true self in the light of the Vedantic teaching of Shravan, Manan, Nidhi, Dhyasana and Nirvikalpa Samadhi, hearing, contemplation, profound Vedantic meditation and complete absorption. There are 4 steps of direct path, realization of self. Then you realize this body and the name never existed. It was an illusion in me. I was always Brahman. I will always remain Brahman due to ignorance. A dream-like appearance has created an illusory reality to itself. So awake, that is meaning of awakening. Awakening to your true self, awakening to your true personality, awakening to your reality is called awakening. That is called enlightenment or self-realization or Brahman realization. We are asleep to our reality. We are asleep or blind to our true self, the Brahman. Once we awake from the slumber and delusion of the so-called real waking states, once we transcend the realm of mind, then we realize that it was a dream. There is no reality to the world that was created by mind and inner instruments, antahkarana. Then you see the Brahman face to face. God realization is not a matter of faith or belief or conjecture or philosophical speculation. The Brahman is to be realized in your personal, direct, immediate experience. Just as scientific formulas are experimented and validated by scientists in the laboratory, even so, by knowing your true nature, by knowing that you are that infinite Brahman, alone you can become Brahman. I am Brahman. This doesn't exist. This always means the immediate world of the duality. If I am Brahman, so I am omnipresent reality. I am the only reality that is permeating and pervading every single world in the universe. I alone am pervading and permeating sun and the moon and the galaxy and the stars, the North Pole and South Pole, every single species of the wildlife or plant life or human species. All are being permeated by me and me alone. Therefore, this means the world of names and forms as it appears. This table, this chair, this apartment or room, they don't exist as they appear to be. I alone exist. Know for sure that this, that is the immediate world of immediate sensory perception, never existed. It's unreal. It is appearing in the dream state, the so-called waking state, projected and governed by mind. So once I awake from that slumber, I know that nothing exists other than me. I alone exist ever, everywhere, and none else does exist in reality. This self is ever the greatest Brahman self. This self, right now, right here, not most of the people think that after death some god or Brahman or self, something that Brahman self is the supreme reality, that Brahman self is ever present within me and you, and that is the supreme authority, this is supreme Lord. This self is ever the greatest. Brahman self is to be comprehended through Vedanta. All else is like the horns of air. Vedanta is the metaphysics of Brahman realization. Vedanta tells us, the Upanishads tell us, Bhagavad Gita tells us that we are nothing but Supreme Reality. In the light of the instructions given by a Shrotriya Brahmanist, enlightened master, we accordingly practice, that is, investigate our true nature. There is no other practice in Vedanta. That is why it's called direct path, because it's a cause of direct liberation, direct self-realization, direct becoming of Brahman, the Supreme Reality. That's why it's a direct path. The rest of the paths also are helpful, but they are indirect. Ultimately, this knowledge alone enables you to see your true nature, your reality. And that's why he's suggesting that the self is ever the greatest, and Brahman self is to be comprehended, to be understood through Vedanta alone. All else is like the horns of the hare. Everything else is non-existent, illusory, like horns of a hare or the son of a barren woman. This entire world is nothing. This entire prapanch is nothing but like sons of a barren woman or horns of a hare. That's illusory, non-existent. There is no past and no future. Brahman remains constant. That is absolute eternal reality, is nothing but Brahman. There is no change in Brahman. The Brahman is eternal and immutable reality. That's why Ribhu is saying the Brahman is ever constant. I am full of consciousness. I am only consciousness. The pure self is nothing but mass of blissful consciousness. The Brahman self within, right now, right here, is nothing but mass of self-effulgent, blissful consciousness. I am that infinite, eternal, absolute mass of blissful consciousness. By knowing and asserting and abiding in this truth, I realize that I am nothing but Brahman. I am nothing but Supreme Truth. I am nothing but Paramatman, the Supreme Self. The destruction of the inert body is insignificant. Today, when the entire human race is being faced by a specter of corona pandemic, each one of us is at some or the other hour or moment of the day and night, we are haunted by this body. What is going to happen to this body? Am I going to get infected by corona? Am I going to survive or not? Am I going to die? Know for sure that this body is inert, non-living. It is enlivened, animated, and made real because of nothing but pure consciousness. The real self that I am, and I am beyond birth and death. The death that is feared of, or the disease and the afflictions that one fears of or afraid of, are just illusions, mental illusions. I was never born, therefore I would never die. The destruction of this body means destruction of an illusory name and form. There is no reality to this name, there is no reality to this form other than Brahman, and Brahman remains as it was. The Brahman remains as it ever have been. My Brahmanhood, my true reality, my Atman will ever remain. It's beyond birth, death, disease, affliction, infection, and sickness. The death of body means the death of imagination, the death of illusory appearance. as in a mirror you see your face, and it gives a sense of reality, but you break the mirror and it may appear that, oh, the image has been broken. No, the image is in the reality of that image is here outside that consciousness, that mirror. And that mirror is mind. Because of mind alone, it appears that, oh, my body was born and it is vulnerable to infection and disease. But I am beyond mind. I am essence of mind and intellect. I alone am pervading and animating every single thought. Therefore, I am not in the mind. Mind is within me. Mind and intellect are imagined in me. So, creation or destruction of mind, and therefore creation or destruction of the illusory body, that is mental creation called body, doesn't affect my eternal absolute reality, that is Brahmanhood, of the nature of absolute existence, blissful consciousness. There is no death in me, there is no sickness in me, there is no sorrow or misery in me. All sorrow, all suffering, all fear is only because of ignorance. I have assumed that this body is a reality. I am of the nature of the body, and what will happen once I get infected. That's false illusion is the root of all suffering. So I know for sure that I am not this body, nor I have anything to do with the entire universe, because the entire Jagat, the universe, is an appearance in me. The world arises, the world exists, and world dissolves. And even so, and even then, I remain as I am, as constant Brahman. There is no change in me. The change is only on the surface of the ocean. The changes take the form of waves, bubbles, whirlpool, foam, but the essence of wave, whirlpool, foam and bubble is nothing but water. Water remains. Arisal of these bubbles, waves and foams and whirlpools, and the destruction of those names and forms doesn't make any difference to the water of the ocean. Even so, the creation, the so-called creation or destruction of the universe, physical phenomenal universe and this body, doesn't make any difference to me. I am the essence, as in the case of the waves and foams. The water is the essence, the water of ocean is the essence. There is no difference, no change in the water. It remains as it is, even with the rise and dissolution of waves, the chain of waves. Even so, the rise, the birth, existence and death of infinity of the universes is an illusion. It doesn't make any difference to my reality, because I am Brahman. I am always Brahman. There is no mutation possible in me, because I am immutable. In Vedanta philosophy, the truth, the reality, the supreme and absolute reality must qualify these two tests. The first, it must be eternal. The second is immutable. There is no change in that. And this pure consciousness, the self within me alone, is beyond mutation, beyond change. It's a changeless reality, and therefore it's eternal reality. To me, there is no difference. Even the entire universe dissolves or destroyed, it doesn't affect me. I am a seer, a witness. I am pervading and permeating the entire universe, and yet I am outside universe. There is not a single atom of universe within me in my pure nature. I alone am cause, source and substratum of the entire universe, and yet I am separate from the universe. I am never attached by any of these objects, any of these names and forms, and therefore I am absolute reality with the changes, with mutations, with death and birth of anything. There is no change in me. I am eternal witness. I am infinite reality. I am the absolute, one indivisible knower and seer of all. I am outside all. Even though I alone pervade and illumine everything, I alone animate the entire physical universe, and yet in my true nature, I am a witness, I am away from all this. Nothing can touch me. The self is real indeed. The body is only infinite self. That's very profound. It would appear as a very contradictory statement, but when he is saying that body is nothing but infinite self. Now, in every verse of the Vedanta, I would say that body is false, mind is false. Now, he is saying the body is nothing but infinite self. What he is saying, say, the body by itself or the mind by itself has no reality to themselves. They are animated, illumined, revealed, and give a sense of existence by nothing but Brahman. So body too is in reality, in essence, is nothing but Brahman, always Brahman. The entire, that is what Brahma Satyam Jagan Mithya Jivo Brahmaiva Naparaha. Adi Shankara says that the entire physical phenomenal universe is false, imagined and illusory, and in reality this universe and this individual jiva too is nothing but Brahman. In this sense alone this body is false, but you go to the essence, its identity, where is it located? The ultimate substratum of the body is nothing but Brahman. In this sense, he is saying that body too is nothing but Brahman, because there is nothing apart from and separate from Brahman. The entire infinite so-called illusory world of names and forms too is based in pure consciousness, in Brahman, vast spacious awareness. So in this sense, this body, the senses, the mind, and the entire universe is true in the sense, in the reality, essence, that is the Brahmanhood, Satchit Anand, absolute existence, pure consciousness and bliss infinite. In that sense, everything is nothing but Brahman. That is what he is trying to point out. There is no contradiction in Ribhu, but it may appear to an ignorant person who is not well versed with the teachings of Vedanta. That is why it's the height of pinnacle of Advaita Vedanta, this Ribhu Gita, only for very accomplished people. But it's a miracle. It does miracle to you. If you have even a small sincerity, a sincerity for the truth of yourself, the miracle will happen very soon through listening and reflection on the Ribhu Gita's eternal teaching about your true nature. There is no doubt of this, that this body is infinite self. Whatever words are heard are unreal. They are non-existent. I am the light of the light. Maho Maha. I am the light of the light. Maho Maha is one of the names of Shiva, the eternal reality. The light of the light. This light of the bulb or tube light, or the light of the sun, or the light of the fire, are not the eternal light. The ultimate, they are illumined by the Maho Maha, the Shiva, the light that is pure consciousness, one light, the pure intelligence, self-effulgent, self-illumined, self-luminous self is the light of light, and that is Shiva, that is Brahman, that Shiva I am. Maho Mahaha, great light, I am light of light, I am light of all light. As Brahman, I am light of all light. As self, I am light of all light. Enumerations such as one and so forth is unreal. Brahman indeed is reality. I am ever real. All is indeed unreal, being ever only but manifestations of the Supreme. The universe is unreal in the sense that they are manifestations of nothing but the Supreme Self of the nature of pure consciousness. Therefore, they are all false, unreal. The reality is Brahman, Paramatman, the Supreme Self is the reality, and that Supreme Self you are, that Supreme Self and Brahman I am. Though bereft of all limbs, I am indeed supreme because of eternal existence. All that is seen is not for me. I say so because of being consciousness alone. All that is perceived or seen in the universe, the prapancha, the jagata, the universe, it's all false because I am ever without name and form. I am a partless, indivisible light of pure consciousness. Therefore, all these forms in the universe are mere appearances in upon myself through mental modification. And even the mental modification has its reality and essence in me. I, of the nature of pure consciousness, light of light, alone illumine every single thought, which in turn creates illusory forms and names. So I alone am source, substance and substratum of every name, every form and every attribute. I am the ultimate reality. I am Brahman. I am Paramatman. Because of the teaching of the Guru, I am verily the attributeless Brahman, Nirguna Nirakara Brahman, the Supreme Reality. I am due to grace and instruction of the enlightened Master. I know for sure that I am attributeless Brahman, the transcendent reality. Nirguna Nirakar Brahman I am. Empirical knowledge is Brahman with attributes. I am the embodiment of knowledge. I am Jnanamurti, embodiment of consciousness. Consciousness, pure consciousness is my true nature. I am attributeless. I am partless. I am the creator. I, the pure consciousness alone, am creator of all. I am the sustainer, I am the God, I am full of wealth. I am pure, I am devoid of anything. Devoid of anything means any name and form and attribute doesn't exist in my pure nature in the primary sense. I am the essence, I am devoid of the essence. I am the fourth state, Turiya. I am the feeling of auspiciousness. I am desire. I am actionless. I am the embodiment of perennial purity. I am devoid of codes of conduct and their fruits. I am Brahman alone. All this is Supreme Brahman. This is the Self. There is no wonder in this. The Self is of the nature of full and the not full. It is ever the nature of the Self of all. The Brahman is the Self of all, means essence of all, substratum of all. The Brahman, the Supreme Self alone is the essence and substratum of all. The entire universe is nothing but an appearance, a modification, a manifestation of me, myself, the Brahman. The Self is the principle of supreme bliss without any limitations at any time. My bliss is absolute because it's unconditioned, the bliss of my true nature. Consciousness bliss, I am Sacchidananda. Look upon the self of all as peaceful. The principle of peacefulness is a blemish of the mind, renouncing the thought that I am the body. Be of this certitude that I am Brahman. This is the root mantra throughout Advaita Vedanta. This alone has to be practiced. Renouncing the thought that I am the body, be of this certitude that I am Brahman. This thought, wrong adhyas, a superimposition, wrong, long held, wrong belief that I am body. Renounce this. Be sure that I am not this body. I am Brahman. That is the knower, seer, illuminator and revealer of this body. That Brahman I am not this body. This is key. This is key to becoming Brahman. This is key to realizing Brahman. This is key to enlightenment. This is key to self-realization and moksha. Know that I am not the body. I am always Brahman alone. This is the essence, the entire Advaita Vedanta. All Upanishads are teaching, preaching and trying to make you understand this and this. This is the only practice. Everything else is an aid. I am Brahman, only Brahman and nothing apart from Brahman. I am not this, I am not this, I am not this. Remember this ever. I am not this body. I am not this world of duality. I am ever Brahman. That is Nidhi, that is Samadhi. I am not this. Keep in mind whatever you do physically. This is spiritual sadhana. I am not this. Be firm in your conviction that I am not this. Anything and everything that has a name and form, you have nothing to do with that. You are seer of all that. You are illuminator of all that. You are essence of all the names and forms. Know for sure that you are that essence. That essence is called Brahman. I am he I am. He means Brahman, the Paramatman. I am he I am. I am he. I am Brahman, contemplate thus. He I am Brahman, contemplate thus. That is the mantra through help of which Parikshit became enlightened through the instruction of Shukadeva, the Paramahansa Shukadeva. That mantra is Aham Brahma Param Dhamam Brahmaham Paramam Padam Aham Brahma Param Dhamam Brahmaham Paramam Padam. That is the key which unlocks the wisdom of self-realization to Parikshit, who physically was going to die at the end of 7 days of instruction by a self-realized master, Shukadeva. This was the mantra which was meditated upon, contemplated upon, and then he became free. He realized that Aham Brahma Param Dhama. I am that Brahman which is the ultimate resort, ultimate refuge of all, and that supreme abode. I am always. There is no birth and death and disease in me. Aham Brahma Param Dhamam Brahmaham Paramam Padam. That is what he is pointing out. All being only consciousness, the name all never is. Renouncing all forms, be of this certitude that all is Brahman. in this chapter, this is the most important instruction. And just understand this one line. Renouncing all forms, be of the certitude that all is Brahman. Anything and everything that could be named and which has a name, know for sure that it is false, and therefore renunciation doesn't mean physically you have to renounce. Mentally, first your false belief in its reality alone creates sense of attachment. So know for sure that all names and forms are false, and therefore discard it, and know for sure that I am Brahman, and abide in that belief, conviction. Renouncing all forms, be of the certitude that all is Brahman. That is what is the first mantra of Upanishad 2. That is the essence of that. In most of the commentaries, it is not revealed in its true spirit. Ishavasyamidam sarvam yat kinchit sacharacharam tena taktena bhunjitha magridha kasya svidhanam. That is the essence in that the sage is saying that know for sure that essence and reality of all phenomenal universe and every object of name and form is nothing but Brahman, Isha. The Brahman alone is covering, pervading and permeating every name and form in the universe. Therefore, renounce that. By renouncing that, there is no physical renunciation. The mental renunciation about the reality to the name and form and the physical universe of duality, and know for sure that everything is Brahman, the nameless, formless, attributeless Brahman, and then enjoy this life. Enjoy anything and everything as Brahman. That is Brahmananda. Once you know that the names and forms are false, the essence is Brahma, then Brahman, that Brahmananda, the bliss of Brahman is ever present within you. You will revel in that Brahmananda. You will rejoice in that Atmananda. That is enjoyment the sage of Upanishad is suggesting. But unfortunately, in most of the commentaries, the modern commentators have failed to grasp the essence of this. This is the essence. This is the essence. Discard mentally, renounce mentally the reality, the sense of reality to names and forms, because Brahman, the Paramatman, the God alone is permeating and pervading every name and form. Renounce that and go to the root, the substratum of the entire universe and every name and form, that is Isha, the God, the Lord, the Paramatman, and then you enjoy as you feel. That is supreme glory. That is supreme achievement. That is why it's called Param Purushartha. The supreme goal is attained only by knowing the Brahman, the knowing the truth, and thereby and thereafter abiding in that truth. That is becoming Brahman. You and I are Brahman, there is no doubt of this. This is only Brahman, there is no uncertainty of this. All is the mind. All here again is in the illusory sense. All means the physical phenomenal universe that appears as something of the names and forms and attributes. That is false. That's a mental creation. That is all mind. The world, prapancha, the universe as it appears is nothing but creation of mind, mental projection. So know for sure that all is Brahman. Sarvam khalvidam Brahma. Aham Brahmasmi. I am verily Brahman. Tattvam asi. That thou art. You too are nothing but Brahman, the supreme reality alone. Brahman is ever endless. There is no beginning or end to the Brahman. That is why it's absolute reality, unconditioned, unfettered reality, and therefore the bliss of the Brahman is also endless, eternal. That is why it's called the real bliss, the real beauty, the real love is there only in the Brahmananda, the bliss of Brahman. That is attained only after knowing your true self that you are Brahman. Then you rejoice and revel in the Brahmananda. Then alone you get the supreme satisfaction. All your desires, dreams and hankerings and cravings are satisfied only after you drink the nectar of your true nature, the Brahmananda. Once you drink the nectar of bliss of the Brahman, the bliss of Atman, you get satisfied forever. You become infinite, fully contented, ever blissful, rejoice in bliss of the self. Brahman is ever endless. There is no reality or unreality. Indeed, reality and unreality are words. In ultimate reality, there is neither reality or no reality, but because we have to instruct to the people who are not aware about the reality, the ultimate reality, so you have to use the words. All is Brahman, there is no doubt of this. The term all is not real. The past, the future, and the present, as well as activity, are ever non existent. Neither differences of reality and unreality, nor differentiation into the real and the unreal, nor qualities, nor the differentiation of qualities exist. Purity and impurity don't exist in the list, because Brahman is a partless reality. All differentiation is because of illusion, because of ignorance. The Brahman is always free from all differentiation, all distinction, all duality, all diversity. All diversity, duality is illusion, ignorance created by mind. There is nothing in the list of which to speak, nothing to talk at all. There is nothing at all of strength or weakness or you or me. In absolute Brahman, all these words, weak or strong, you or me, all are dissolved, because only one non-dual reality is there. They are nothing like I, me, good, bad, righteousness, unrighteousness, papa, punya, they all dissolved. Neither is there anything to be grasped, nor is there anyone to grasp. There is never anything to be disregarded. For the self there are neither holy rivers, nor any form of ablution, neither gods nor worship of gods. Because the Brahman is supreme reality. Brahman is root of all the sacred rivers, all the gods. And Brahman is ever pure, Niranjana. So what evolution, what bathing, what functions are rituals for purifying this body? Because the Brahman is embodiment of purity, ever pure, taintless, Niranjana is Brahman. Therefore, all these rituals for purification or ablution are non-existent in the Brahman. There never is in the list any cause for life or death. There never is any truth or form of truth in the list, because there is no cause of death or birth, in the sense that the death and birth and the entire universe is an illusion and appearance. The one uncaused absolute reality is Brahman. That Brahman I am, and in my pure nature, there is no death, there is no birth. I alone exist as Brahman. Therefore, all these words and the realms of relativity are mental illusions and creations born out of ignorance. There are no mothers or fathers or bodies in the list. There is neither the form of the seer nor the form of the seen. There is nothing in the list here. Even the distinction of the seer and the seen is in the beginning of the instruction. At the end of it, neither there is any seer nor seen or the seeing. All are projections of the one non-dual pure consciousness. The seer, seen, and the relationship of sight and seeing is imagined in the one non-dual pure consciousness, that is Brahman. Therefore, and there is no father or mother, because the father and mother of all, the substratum of all is nothing but pure consciousness, the Brahman. Therefore, you think that this body was born to such and such parents. It's unreal. The reason even for this illusory appearance is the mind, and the substratum of the mind is nothing but Brahman. Therefore, in essence, there is no father, there is no mother, there is no distinction. And the distinction, the duality or triad of the seer, seen, and sight or seeing, the knower, the object of knowledge and knowing, all dissolved into the Brahman of the nature of pure consciousness. This triputi, the triad, exists only in ignorance. Once you go deep within in samadhi, nirvikalpa samadhi, there is neither the seer nor the seen nor the seeing, because in nirvikalpa samadhi, the pure consciousness alone becomes conscious of pure consciousness. That is the ultimate state. When consciousness is conscious of nothing but pure consciousness alone, that is the supreme state. There is no existence of any even reflection of duality or trinity. They are all trinity, a triad of seer, seen, and seeing, dissolve in one. That is by this complete absorption, nirvikalpa samadhi, this entire illusory world disappears, and there you realize in the state when consciousness, that is the self or Brahman, is conscious of nothing but the self or Brahman and consciousness. That is the supreme state, free from all distinctions, cause and effect. That's absolute reality. So ultimate glory of the Brahmanhood is realized only in nirvikalpa samadhi, when you abide in the self. And who? When the self alone abides in the self, then is the vision of the pure reality. The effects of delusion or the existence of any delusion is not here in the list, not in the list. Knowledge or differences of knowledge are not here in the list, not in the list. There is no distinction of knowledge. Embodiment of pure consciousness, the Chinmurti is the ultimate reality. The Brahman is Chinmurti, the Supreme Truth is Chinmurti, the Atman is Chinmurti. In the pure consciousness, the pure knowledge, there is no triad, there is no duality. I have explained to you, now says Ribhu is saying in the concluding mantra, I have explained to you the need for rejecting the entire phenomenal world. Whosoever hears this, even once attains the status of the self. The entire chapter, 18th chapter, essentially, as I told you, is an exposition of the first verse of Isha Upanishad that suggests renounce, discard the world of the names and forms and abide in the substratum, the reality of the names and forms, that is the Brahman. Know for sure that reality you are, and by this alone you become Brahman. The moment you are able to discard mentally, renounce mentally the sense of reality that you have given to the body and the relationships and network of relationships in the world you have created, and the entire world of names and forms, you renounce mentally, immediately, and you realize your Brahmanhood, because you always are there. You are never anything else other than that Brahman, and that Brahmanhood is just by discarding mentally the sense of reality that we have given to the universe, it takes you directly at the source of the supreme reality, the Brahmanhood. And once you know the Brahman, you verily become Brahman, you become the supreme reality, you become Sacchidananda, the truth infinite, that is the supreme glory of every human being. Let me hope and pray that becomes a reality for all of you. Chidanandaropah Shivoham Shivoham